Welcome, everyone, to the AXA Engineers podcast series. This is where we really dig into the big topics shaping the civil engineering world.
Yeah, we try to cut through the noise and give you the insights that, actually matter.
Exactly. And today we're doing a deep dive into something pretty transformative. The strategic side of outsourcing civil engineering work. We'll be looking especially at those hidden costs that can really sneak up on you.
It's more than just saving a bit of money here and there, right?
Yeah.
It's about rethinking the whole operational model.
Absolutely. We want this to be your shortcut to getting fully up to speed on this. It's about potentially revolutionizing how your firm operates, boosting growth, agility, resilience, the whole package.
And uncovering those invisible burdens that might be holding you back without you even realizing it.
Precisely. Then we'll explore how strategic outsourcing, and we'll talk quite a bit about how AXA Engineers approaches this, can turn those challenges into, well, real competitive strengths.
Our discussion today is largely inspired by that AXA Engineers video, how outsourcing your civil engineering projects cuts your expenses. It's on their YouTube channel, Civil Engineering Global Solutions. Great starting point.
It really is. We'll unpack the ideas in that video and add some extra layers for you.
Yeah.
Oh, and before we really get going, if you like what you hear today, please do follow the AXA Engineers series wherever you get your podcasts.
Yeah, and drop us a comment. We genuinely want to hear your thoughts, your questions. It helps us make these deep dives better.
Definitely. Okay, let's get into it. So, for anyone running a civil engineering firm or managing projects, that budget,
Ray.
it's a constant battle, isn't it? Just relentless.
Oh, absolutely. You're always juggling those big three engineer salaries, which keep climbing. Those software licenses feels like they go up every year, doesn't it?
Every single year. And then just general overhead, rent, utilities, insurance. It all adds up.
And it just squeezes those profit margins tighter and tighter. It's a constant pressure.
Right. And most firms, they've already done the obvious stuff. They've trimmed expenses they can see, sometimes right down to the bone.
They've optimized what's visible. But the question we need to ask is, what if that's not enough? What if the real solution needs, a fundamental rethink of how things are done?
A rethink of the whole operational model.
Exactly. What if the biggest drains aren't the ones on the spreadsheet you look at every week, but the ones hidden beneath the surface?
Okay, that's intriguing. Hidden drains.
And what makes this really urgent, not just interesting, is the market itself, the global civil engineering outsourcing market. It's growing at about 8.5% annually.
8.5%, that's pretty fast growth.
It's significant. It shows this isn't just a niche thing. It's a major shift. The firms that jumped on this early, the ones integrating outsourcing strategically, they're already seeing a real competitive advantage.
So they're not just reacting, they're proactively building this capability in.
Precisely. They're building resilience, flexibility. It's becoming a core part of a smart business strategy in this sector now.
Okay, so part of this rethink involves how firms even calculate project costs in the first place, right? Because the standard way seems flawed.
Very flawed, often. The common approach is, well, it looks simple. Take the engineer's base salary, add the standard benefits package, health, retirement, whatever, and people think, okay, that's my cost for this person on this project.
It seems logical on the surface.
It does, but it creates this huge blind spot, a financial blind spot that honestly can go unnoticed for years. And we're not talking pocket change here.
Right, so what's in this blind spot?
It's all the indirect operational costs, the things that are absolutely essential to support every single billable hour, but they're rarely scrutinized directly, rarely allocated properly project by project.
Like the foundations of a building. Essential, but you don't really look at them day to day.
That's a perfect analogy. They're substantial. They form this fixed expense base supporting all the work, whether you see them clearly on an invoice or not. They just accumulate silently.
Okay, let's break this down then. What are some of these big hidden cost categories? Software and hardware seem like a good place to start. They feel obvious, but maybe not how obvious.
Exactly. They seem obvious, but the true ongoing financial burden is often underestimated. Let's take software. You need tools like Autodesk Civil 3D, right? It's the industry standard for modeling, design, documentation.
Absolutely essential. Can't do the job without it.
Right. But a single annual subscription for one engineer, that's a significant chunk of money. And here's the real kicker. That cost is fixed.
It's fixed meaning.
Meaning it stays the same whether that engineer is working flat out, 100% billable on a huge project, or if they hit a slow patch, maybe doing admin, maybe training. The license fee doesn't care. It's a constant drain.
It doesn't scale with their actual work output. Ouch.
Ouch is right, and it's the same for high-performance hardware. You need powerful computers for complex 3D modeling, big data sets, simulations. You can't run Civil 3D effectively on just any old laptop.
The in-series processing power, good graphics cards, lots of RAM.
Exactly. Another big fixed cost, plus regular upgrades to keep up. And then there's compliance. If you want to work on public sector projects or large private developments, you have to have fully licensed, up-to-date software for the whole team. It's often mandated.
Not optional. It's a requirement to even play in that league.
Correct. So these aren't just nice-to-haves. They're substantial, unavoidable, recurring costs that lock up capital. Whether that capital is actively generating revenue at that moment or not, it's fundamentally inefficient.
Okay, so software and hardware are big, fixed burdens. What about the less tangible stuff? You mentioned non-billable activities.
Oh, yes, the quiet productivity killers. These are maybe even more insidious because they don't show up as a line item anywhere.
Like internal meetings,
That-
admin, that kind of thing.
Precisely. Think about your senior engineers, highly paid, experienced people. How much time do they spend helping a junior colleague with an IT glitch because maybe your IT support is stretched thin?
Happened all the time.
Or mandatory compliance training. Keeping up with codes, safety regs, environmental standards, absolutely vital, but it takes them away from billable work.
Right. Necessary, but not earning revenue in that moment.
Then there's general admin timesheets, maybe some procurement tasks, and yes, internal meetings. So many meetings sometimes.
That's
Project reviews, strategy sessions, team updates.
Yeah, all eats up time.
Valuable, non-renewable time. And when you multiply those hours across your entire team, it represents a huge opportunity cost. It's often just completely missed in standard budgeting.
So every hour spent on non-billable, even necessary stuff, is an hour not spent billing a client.
Exactly. It's like running an expensive machine at full power, but not actually producing anything with it. If you have, say, 10 engineers and each spends just 5 hours a week on non-billable tasks, that's pretty conservative, I think.
Probably very conservative.
All right. That's 50 hours of lost billable capacity per week. At an average rate, let's say $150 an hour, that's $7,500 a week. Over a year. Nearly $400,000 in revenue that just vanished.
Wow. Okay, that puts it in perspective. $400,000 evaporating because of non-billable time for just 10 engineers.
It's a direct hit to potential profit.
So, okay, we combine the fixed software costs, the hardware treadmill, this significant non-billable time drain. The true cost of an engineer suddenly looks very different from just their salary slip.
Very different. It escalates dramatically. When you properly account for all these hitting factors, an engineer's real cost to the firm can be 40%, 50%, even 60% higher than their base salary.
40 to 60% higher. That's staggering.
It is. And this isn't just academic. It's a direct, measurable impact on your profit margins for every single project. If you're paying an engineer $100,000, their true cost could easily be $140,000, $160,000, maybe more, before you even add your desired profit margin.
Which explains why firms can feel busy winning work but still struggle with profitability.
Exactly. Your break-even billable rate gets pushed way up once you factor in this true overhead. There might be very little room left for actual profit, especially if the market's tough or bids are competitive. You're working hard, but the underlying math is working against you.
And this ties into the rigidity of fixed expenses, doesn't it? That risk they create.
Absolutely. That's maybe the biggest structural weakness. Think about rent, those software licenses again, insurance, IT maintenance, maybe core admin staff salaries. They stay the same month after month.
Regardless of workflow. Busy or slow,
Yeah.
the bills keep coming.
Correct. And that rigidity is where the danger lies. When times are good, lots of projects, high demand, these costs get absorbed. They seem manageable because they're spread across lots of revenue.
You barely notice them when things are humming along.
But the moment things slow down, a market dip, a project delay, suddenly that rigid overhead structure isn't manageable anymore. It becomes a liability, a big one.
Because the costs don't shrink when the revenue does.
Precisely.
Yeah.
And that makes it incredibly hard to adjust quickly. What are your options? Painful layoffs, which hurt morale, lose knowledge, damage your reputation?
Awful for everyone involved.
Or you start cutting back on essential resources, training, maybe delaying upgrades, which hurts your long-term capacity and competitiveness.
So you're trapped. Either cut people or cut capabilities.
It's a terrible choice. This inability to scale your expenses down with revenue exposes firms to huge risk. It undermines sustainability. You end up pouring resources into just maintaining the infrastructure, whether you have the billable work to support it or not.
Like running that factory at 20% capacity but paying 100% of the running costs? Unsustainable.
Exactly. It's a recipe for diminishing returns and increased vulnerability.
Okay, so summing up this first part, really seeing, understanding, and quantifying these hidden costs, the software, the hardware, the non-billable time, the fixed overhead rigidity, it's not just an accounting exercise. It's step one to building a stronger, more resilient, more profitable firm.
Absolutely. You can't fix what you don't measure or what you don't even see. And these hidden costs are often the biggest silent profit killers. Time to turn the lights on.
All right, so we've shown a light into those dark corners, revealed the hidden costs. Now for the exciting part. How do we fix it? How do we turn this challenging cost structure into an actual advantage?
Yes, this is where the conversation shifts from problem identification to proactive solutions. And strategic outsourcing is, I believe, the most powerful lever available right now.
And you emphasize strategic outsourcing, not just chasing the lowest price tag.
Critically important distinction. Yes, the initial numbers are eye-catching. Labor rates in places like Vietnam for skilled engineering work can be 70–80% lower than in the U.S. That's according to ILO data, which AXA engineers often points to.
Yeah.
That gets your attention.
70–80% lower. Yeah, that definitely gets your attention. Hard to ignore.
But if that's all you focus on, just the price, you can run into trouble.
How so? What are the risks?
Well, you hear stories, right? Inconsistent quality, communication issues, missed deadlines, maybe a lack of understanding of local codes or project nuances if the provider isn't carefully vetted and managed.
Right, the potential pitfalls of just going for the cheapest option without looking at the bigger picture. Any savings could evaporate quickly if the work needs redoing or causes delays.
Exactly. The most successful outsourcing isn't just about cost cutting. It's about building resilience. It's about expanding your capabilities. It's about finding a partner, someone like AXA Engineers, who integrates with your team, understands your standards, and extends your reach.
A partner, not just a vendor.
Precisely. The real magic happens when you leverage outsourcing for flexibility and scalability. That's how you turn cost structure challenges into genuine, sustainable growth opportunities. It's about building a more adaptable, powerful firm.
Okay, so let's get practical. What are the tangible advantages, especially when partnering with a specialist like AXA Engineers? Flexibility and scalability sound great. What does that actually look like for a firm? Imagine not being limited by your current team size. What does that unlock?
It unlocks growth potential that might seem impossible otherwise. It means you can confidently bid on and win larger projects, more complex projects, or just handle a higher volume of work without the usual bottleneck.
The bottleneck being?
Hiring, exactly. The traditional way, if a big opportunity comes along, you face weeks, maybe months of recruiting, interviewing, hiring, onboarding, training. It's slow, it's expensive, it's disruptive.
And you might miss the opportunity while you're busy trying to staff up for it.
Happens all the time. But with a strategic partner like AXA Engineers, you can scale your capacity almost instantly. Let me give you a real example AXA Engineers often shares.
Yeah, let's hear it.
They worked with a mid-sized U.S. firm on a complex project, the Tranquil Valley development. The client needed specialized drafting and some pretty intricate stormwater design work done fast. AXA Engineers delivered it overnight.
Overnight. How's that work?
Time zones. We'll get to that. But the impact was huge. Delivering that work so quickly essentially cut the client's project schedule in half for that phase.
Wow.
And because of that speed and the quality delivered, that mid-sized firm was able to confidently pursue and win a contract that, honestly, would have been way too big for their in-house team alone. Either the scale or the timeline would have ruled them out.
So AXA Engineers didn't just do the work. They enabled their client to win new, bigger business.
That's the strategic advantage right there. It's not just about cost savings on tasks. It's about expanding your firm's horizons, increasing revenue potential. It's a direct competitive edge provided by that partnership with AXA Engineers.
Okay, that's powerful. What about technology and specialized skills? That's another big cost center we talked about.
Huge one. And this is another area where outsourcing shines, especially with a partner like AXA Engineers. They come to the table already equipped.
Meaning
Meaning they have the latest, fully licensed software, your Civil 3Ds, your dynamos for automation, and the skilled engineers who know how to use them expertly. Your firm doesn't need to buy all those expensive licenses or invest heavily in training your own team on every new tool.
which is a massive saving, especially for smaller or mid-sized firms. Those license costs and training budgets are substantial.
Prohibitive sometimes. Outsourcing transforms that huge capital expenditure, that fixed overhead, into a variable project-based cost. You pay for the advanced tools and the specialized expertise only when you actually need them for a specific project.
So you get access to top-tier tech and skills on demand without the ownership burden.
Exactly. Your team instantly gains capabilities that might have been out of reach otherwise. You can offer more sophisticated services to your clients, compete more effectively, deliver higher quality work. It levels the playing field. AXA Engineers basically provides that tech stack and expertise as part of their service.
That makes a lot of sense. Now, you mentioned time zones earlier with that overnight delivery example. The follow the sun idea.
Ah, yes, the follow the sun workflow. This is a really neat operational advantage you get when working with a team in a significantly different time zone, like AXA engineers in Vietnam.
How does it work in practice?
Okay, picture this. Your team on the U.S. East Coast finishes their workday at, say, 5 p.m. They package up their current files, the work in progress.
Right. End of the day.
As they're heading home, the AXA engineers team in Vietnam is just starting their workday, maybe around 7 a.m. local time. They pick up those exact files your team just sent.
So the work continues while the U.S. team is offline.
Exactly. The AXA engineers team works a full day on your project. By the time your U.S. team logs back in the next morning, say 8:00 or 9:00 a.m. EST.
The files are back, updated.
Often, yes. Updated, progressed, ready for review. You've essentially created a continuous 24-hour work cycle, at least during the working week.
That must dramatically speed things up.
It really does. It accelerates timelines, clears bottlenecks way faster than if everyone's in the same time zone waiting for reviews or handoffs. Client response times can improve significantly too. Projects just move forward relentlessly.
And in this industry, speed is often critical. Winning bids, meeting deadlines.
It can absolutely be the deciding factor, that operational efficiency, that round-the-clock progress enabled by AXA engineers. That's a powerful competitive weapon. It can make the difference between winning and losing key contracts.
Okay, so faster projects, access to tech. What about the impact on the in-house team? Does outsourcing help them too?
Absolutely. And this is often an underestimated benefit. It's about empowering your most valuable people.
How so? By taking work off their plate.
Essentially, yes, but it's about taking the right work off their plate. By outsourcing the more routine, time-consuming tasks, maybe the initial drafting, standard calculations, document production to a trusted partner like AXA engineers.
You free up your senior people.
Exactly. You liberate your most experienced, highest-paid engineers from getting bogged down in that stuff. They can then focus exclusively on the high-value activities where their expertise truly makes a difference.
Like what kind of activities?
Client management, building those crucial relationships, rigorous quality assurance using their experience to catch potential issues, critical final design reviews applying their seasoned judgment, and maybe most importantly, business development, finding new opportunities, nurturing leads, securing future work.
The strategic stuff that grows the firm.
Precisely. So it's a double win. You maximize the impact and productivity of your best people, and you improve their job satisfaction. Engineers generally prefer tackling complex challenges, not repetitive drafting. Using AXA engineers lets them do more of what they love and what benefits the firm most.
Makes sense. Keeps your top talent engaged and productive. Okay, let's tie this back to the financials. Converting fixed overhead to variable expense. That sounds like the holy grail of financial flexibility.
It really is foundational to resilience. Strategic outsourcing with AXA engineers lets you shed many of those burdensome fixed costs we talked about earlier.
Like the software licenses, the hardware refresh cycle, maybe even some office space.
All of that, plus potentially large chunks of the internal training budget. Instead of being locked into these costs regardless of workflow, they become on-demand expenses. They scale up when you're busy, and they scale down automatically when things are quieter.
So your cost base naturally flexes with your revenue.
Perfectly. That gives you incredible financial agility. You can weather market fluctuations much more easily without that dead weight of unused capacity dragging you down. You avoid paying for expensive software or idle staff during slow periods.
That sounds like a much healthier financial model.
It's fundamentally stronger. And the savings are real. Studies consistently show firms can cut operational costs by up to 40% or even more by strategically outsourcing certain functions to places like Vietnam, where AXA engineers operates. The combination of lower labor costs and shedding that fixed overhead is powerful.
And that 40% saving That's money that can be reinvested.
Absolutely. Reinvested in growth, in innovation, in your core team, or simply flow through to improve the bottom line. It makes the entire firm leaner, stronger, and much more profitable. AXA Engineers helps unlock that potential.
Okay, so putting it all together,
Yeah.
that 8.5% annual growth in the outsourcing market isn't just a number, it's a signal, a big one.
It's a huge signal. It tells us this isn't a fad. It's a fundamental shift in how the industry operates, or at least how the leading firms are operating.
So firms that embrace this strategically, they're just better positioned.
Demonstrably better positioned. They can expand their services more easily. They improve profitability by tackling those hidden costs we discussed. And crucially, they can react much faster to new opportunities. They have more agility.
So it's moving from being maybe a nice-to-have tactic to a core strategic pillar.
Absolutely. It's becoming central to sustainable growth and long-term competitiveness. If you want to lead or even just keep pace in this evolving global market, strategic outsourcing needs to be part of your playbook.
It really reframes it. Not just a cost-saving measure, but a strategic enabler for building a more resilient, future-proof firm.
Couldn't have said it better myself. As the industry keeps changing new tech, shifting client needs, global competition, the conclusion is just crystal clear. Strategic outsourcing, especially with a high-quality partner you can trust, like AXA Engineers, isn't optional anymore.
It's essential.
It's essential. With that 8.5% growth rate, which is likely accelerating, and the proven potential to cut those hidden costs by potentially up to 60%, firms simply cannot afford to sit on the sidelines and treat this as something they'll look into later.
The risk of inaction is becoming too high.
Exactly. The time for deliberation is really over. The time for strategic action, for exploring partnerships like the one AXA Engineers offers, is right now. Hashtag tag outro.
Okay, that was a lot to unpack, but incredibly insightful. So for you, our listener, what's the next step? Where do you start?
Well, the very first practical thing is to take a really honest look at your own operations. Identify what your true core competencies are, the things only your team can do, your unique value.
And distinguish those from the more standardized, perhaps repetitive tasks.
Precisely. The tasks that are essential but could potentially be done efficiently, maybe even more efficiently, by a specialized external partner like AXA Engineers. That internal audit is key.
Makes sense. Know thyself, basically.
Then don't feel you have to jump in head first. A smart approach is to start small. Launch a pilot project.
Test the waters.
Exactly. Pick a defined piece of work, partner with a firm like AXA Engineers, test the workflows, measure the results, cost savings, turnaround time, quality, see the benefits firsthand on a manageable scale. Build confidence.
And speaking of pilot projects, we'd strongly suggest starting with an AXA Engineers pilot. They make it really easy.
They do. Their pricing is transparent, and they bring all the licensed tools and skilled people, so there's very little risk for you. It removes those barriers to just trying it out.
It's designed to prove the value without a huge commitment up front. A really low-risk way to explore this.
And remember that quote, that core message. Smart outsourcing will be your next competitive advantage. Unlock scalable growth and win bigger bids. That's the potential here.
It really is. So let me leave you with this question. If unlocking potentially 40 to 60% savings on those hidden costs that are likely eating away at your profits right now, and getting immediate access to a global talent pool, top technology that follow the sun efficiency, if that's the difference between just getting by, just surviving, and truly thriving, innovating, leading the pack,
The huge difference.
then what's really holding your firm back from reaching out to AXA Engineers today? Why not pilot that path to growth? Find out what's possible.
Don't let those hidden costs dictate your future.
Exactly. Connect with AXA Engineers. Explore the possibilities. And please keep following the AXA Engineers podcast series for more deep dives like this one. Let us know your thoughts, your questions in the comments. We really do want to hear from you. Thanks for tuning in.